Hey, Joe from RUGame.com. Now I'm out here in Indianapolis this weekend for GenCon 2022, and I had a chance to sit down with AJ Porfirio of Van Ryder Games. And he showed me their two very diametrically opposed games that they're featuring this year. Keepers, a fun, lighthearted family game, and Final Girl, basically a horror movie in a box. We are at the Van Ryder booth. We are talking with AJ Porfirio, and we're going to talk about some games that he designed.
Yeah,
so,
it's great.
Okay, so this is my first time at GenCon.
Yes.
Bucket list thing. What do I need to be doing while I'm out here?
I would say just enjoy and embrace the spectacle.
Okay. I've been doing that.
There's something for everyone here. Board games, RPGs, cosplay, LARPing. I mean, whatever if you're a gamer, this is the place to be. Yeah.
Fantastic. Awesome. So how is GenCon going for you guys?
GenCon's going great. We had a great day one. Obviously, our hot product these days is Final Girl. So we have a limited number of copies available, and then essentially that's the end of the first printing.
Yeah.
Which has actually been sold out for a while, but we had some reserve copies for Kickstarter, some of that stuff.
Absolutely.
So that's going to all go, and then the reprint will be coming in 1 to 2 months.
Nice.
Probably close to 2 months. And then we got a new release called Keepers, which is a great accessible family weight game. And it's just coming out now, and it'll be in stores in a couple weeks.
There we go.
So. Yep.
All right, so I got to ask you a couple questions. So you're an inventor, you're a game designer. What was the first game that really gave you that bug, that you knew that that's what you wanted to do?
Yeah. Well, so it's actually kind of the origin story of our company, which is I played professional baseball, and my career had ended, and I was with my wife, and we had started having kids. And so with small kids, it was harder to get out to a game night.
I
actually hadn't gamed too much because I was busy with baseball. But then I found a meetup group and started gaming. But before that, when I first started getting back into things, was like, oh man, I wonder if there's any cool zombie board games. And I looked up and found Last Night on Earth, and I asked for that for Christmas. And I got it, but my family didn't really want to play. So I was like, what? I was like, man, if this game played solo, I'd just play it myself. And so that got me thinking oh, maybe I'll design my own zombie solo game. So that's what I did, and that was around the time Kickstarter was coming out, and the rest is kind of history. I started with that as kind of a hobby thing, and now it's grown to what you see here.
And now you're here.
Yeah.
Selling out a Final Girl every morning within 30 minutes.
It's wild. I love it, though.
So talk to me about some of these games. So talk to me first about Final Girl. I know we don't have a demo of it because the table's just
we're getting ready for the rush, and we just hand them the bags. But Final Girl is it's our new hit solo game. We won, obviously, as you can see, 2 Dice Tower Awards recently for best solo and best theme. It's a modular system, so what you see here is we have a core box, and then there are what's called feature film boxes. So the feature films each come with a killer and a location. Yeah. So one of them's like a poltergeist at a haunted house, or
a slasher at a camp.
The killer at the campground. Yeah. And the cool thing about it is the boxes, actually, the lids are magnetized, and they're also the boards. So it's very modular. You pick which ones you want to play, and you can mix and match. We have optional miniatures that you can get with it. We have a game mat that we don't have here. It's sold out, but I mean, it's been huge for us. We just had a huge Kickstarter earlier this year for the Series 2 stuff, which will come out next year.
Yeah. So how long does one game play?
So if you are really unfortunate, really bad, or unlucky, it can be as short as 20 minutes if you die real quick. Most games are going to be 40 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
So it's a fairly quick playing game. Yeah. But you feel like at the end of it, you feel like you watched a horror movie.
Exactly, and that's what I love about this is, obviously I can see where you were pulling some of your design
inspiration. Yeah, we definitely use some of the great horror movies as inspiration for a lot of what we do, for sure.
So then, what's your favorite horror movie? I mean, I have to ask that just based on this.
I just love Saw.
Okay.
The first one. Yeah. The series got kind of crazy after.
They kind of had to.
But I just love the first one. It was so clever. The twist just got me, blew my mind. I loved it. So that's definitely one of them. It's very hard for me to choose just one, but that's up there.
Feel like based on how this game plays, Saw would be difficult to translate into Final Girl. Or have you guys done a Saw?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Fair enough. Season 2 coming soon. All right. So tell me about Keepers here.
All right. So this is Keepers, which I'm
Move
standing
over
right
this
in front of, and this is a game almost the opposite of Final Girl. It's a family weight, high player count game, and you can see all the beautiful photography that was taken by our sales director, Byron Jajorian.
He took all those photos?
Yeah, he's actually a world famous nature photographer. You didn't know that?
I didn't know that, but I see that.
That's how he made his living, not selling games for us. It's really simple. Each player has a hand of cards. One player is going to give a one-word, non-noun clue.
Yes.
So you could say adjectives like pretty or hot or whatever.
Wet.
You could say verbs, running, dashing, sleeping, anything like that. Just not a noun. You can't say tiger or cricket.
So you can't give it away, obviously.
It can't be too obvious. And so then every player is going to take a card from their hand, and they're going to give it to the person who gave the clue, who's also going to play a card. And they're going to shuffle them up. And then they lay them out on this beautiful game mat we have here, and everyone's going to basically vote. So we have these voting dials. But the cool thing is you can vote for what you think is the best match to the word or the least best match, the worst match for the word.
Yeah.
So if someone said cuddly, you might vote for the tiger as, well, that's not cuddly at all.
Absolutely
you
not
can vote for
cuddly.
it as a least match. Or maybe there's something, cute out there and cuddly, and you could vote for that as it is a match. So then you're gonna, after everyone's voted, you're gonna simultaneously reveal the voting dials, and whichever one's got the most green and red votes for closest and least closest match are called keepers, and you get a point for them.
Okay.
So you do that around the table till each person's had a turn to give a clue, and then most points at the end of the game wins.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta say, I'm fascinated by the fact that Byron, right there, that gentleman.
I can't believe
all
you didn't
these
tell
photos.
you that. Yeah.
No, I mean, that'd be something I'd be bragging about constantly.
I like revealing that info for people.
They're gorgeous photos,
Yes.
and just the whole aesthetic. You got the beautiful borders on it, gives it a nice elevated feel.
Yeah.
How did you guys come up with this one?
This one we came up with, honestly, just once I started working with Byron and realized how great his photos were. I was
just like, how do we
got to
turn-
figure out a way to do a game? Yeah.
These pictures into a
we got
board
to
game.
figure out a way to do a game with this, and I honestly, it took me a while to figure out okay, how could we do this? Because I wanted the game the art to be centered to the game.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I almost passed the credit to Byron more so than the design, because to me the art is what really makes the game.
Absolutely.
Then that's how Keepers was born.
I love the sort of just diametrically opposed games you have going on here. You have
we have
the
Keepers,
horror movie,
we have popcorn dice,
and then the
and then we
super
got
nice, just family, beautiful photography. Everyone's just enjoying themselves, and then you go over there and you get murdered. So what are some of your favorite game mechanics that you've employed in either Keepers or Final Girl?
Sure. The Final Girl gameplay system is kind of a riff on deck building. So deck building, when it came out with Dominion, and it was just super fascinating to me, but I wanted to do something a little bit different and spin that on its head.
Yeah.
So it's like deck building, but there's no deck. So in Final Girl and Hostage Negotiator, when you buy a card from the market, you take it straight into your hand. So there's no randomness of when am I going to see this card? That always bothered me when it's you have this great card, but you need 2 other cards with it, and it doesn't show up at the right time, and it's worthless.
Yeah.
In these games, you know exactly what you're getting. Now there is randomness in resolving them, so that's where that comes in. So it's I know I want to go for a big attack, whether that's going to work out or not. It comes down to the dice, and there's some mitigation and things like that, and some ways you can give yourself the best odds. But that's kind of the main mechanic there.
Okay. So as a one-player game, as a solo player game, what was the play testing for that like? Was that just you sitting in your room
Well, so because Final Girl is built off of the hostage negotiator system.
Okay, so it made it a little
that
bit.
That system I just described was originally designed for in hostage negotiator. We took that, tweaked it, massaged it, changed it, added a board, a bunch of other stuff, and that's how Final Girl came to be. So it is definitely its own.
It's
game,
its own game, but
sure.
the heavy burden of the play testing of the system.
Right, the system
came
from there.
with
So that
hostage
one was, we had a starting point we already knew kind of worked.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it is a lot of solo testing. You play by yourself. But what we do, me and Evan, my business partner, who unfortunately couldn't be here, I mean, we'll sit there and like, he'll make a feature film and I'll test it and he'll just stand there and watch. And we basically like see how it works with someone else playing.
And I think that's interesting because it is a solo game.
Yeah.
But I mean,
we have couples
you
that
can
play
play together
yeah.
with some people as long as you're okay with making decisions
I love,
together.
I love just watching it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's one
of my
that can
favorites
be watched.
was Evan was playing the Poltergeist, which is in the haunted house, and there's a ladder on the side of the building, and he did everything. He found Carolyn, the girl you got to get out. He got over to the window, but he had to end his turn. The tarot card flipped and the ladder broke.
Oh,
so he couldn't go out the window anymore, and he had to like try to find another way out. The game creates cool moments like that.
Yeah.
Like, it almost seems like it was intended that card be right there at that moment. But it's this the kind of thing it does. So yeah, we play test together. We have outside play testers also.
Yeah.
Which with solo is nice, especially during the pandemic, because you don't have to have a group.
Yeah, exactly.
Test.
That's one of the hardest things
yeah.
about just the board gaming community is being able to get people together for game night on a consistent basis.
Yeah. So yeah, it's great.
Fantastic. Well, AJ, I gotta say thank you so much for showing me everything. You got a great group of games. I actually got a chance to play Keepers the other day. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, excellent.
Played with my wife and we had a family vacation thing. Haven't tried Final Girl yet, but we got some copies back at the office. And as soon as Andrea gives me the go-ahead, I'm gonna bust those open.
All right. Let us know what you think.
We'll do. All right. Have a good one, AJ.
Right. Appreciate it.
Okay, those games look awesome. And if the line in front of Final Girl every morning is any indication, it's great. As far as Keepers go, I can speak on that personally because I got to sit down with the photographer of all the photos in the game and we did a little playthrough / interview. You can check it out in the link below. Be sure to like and subscribe to keep up to date with all things AreYouGame.com. I'm Joe, and I just got one more question for you. Are you game?